A 156% APY sounds ridiculous. How could this be? In this video, we're going to tell you how that is actually possible. And if you can make money off of these crazy high APYs, because if you lean in, I'm going to tell you a secret. These APYs actually go higher than 156%. They go up to 1,000% or more. We're going to talk in this video about how some companies, some DAOs and DEXs, are paying 5 quintillion% APY. And we're going to talk about the feasibility of those and if you can make money and the strategy behind them. It's actually real with some caveats, but we're also going to go over how the 10%, 30%, 100% yields are possible in APY returns. So I want to welcome you to the DeFi Whale YouTube channel with your host, me, the DeFi Whale. Over the years, I've become a whale, a market mover and shaker, a crypto king, and have made millions in crypto to become the whale that I am today. Crypto over the years has given me so much on a real sentimental note here, and I wanted to make a YouTube channel so I could give back and hopefully make you the next whale. In this channel, we simplify DeFi and crypto with easy to understand videos, and we're going to dive into crypto and DeFi investing strategies, plus how to smartly implement those strategies so that you can one day too become a whale. This video is an informational one, and that's important so that you can fully understand and wrap your heads around the videos I post about specific DEXs or DAOs, or the next one you come across, you'll know what you're doing when it comes to investing in that. So with all of that, it's very important that you subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you get notifications when I post new videos, because a lot of these are going to be time-sensitive videos. You're going to want to invest within a certain period of days. Make sure you're following me on Twitter, because I can't always post the time-sensitive stuff on YouTube. Most of it's going to be through Twitter. Follow me at the DeFi Whale. Now, on to DeFi, starting with these crazy high APYs. But before we get into why these APYs are so high, we're first going to cover our basis. We're going to cover what tools are actually used to produce the APY and how they work. That's going to help you understand truly, deeply, why the APYs are giving such high returns. Now, first off, what does APY actually mean? APY is annual percentage yield, and that's the rate you can earn on an account or on an investment over the course of a year, and that includes compounding interest. So if the APY is 50%, you put in $100 into a vehicle, at the end of the year, you're going to get $150, meaning $50 return off your initial $100 investment. So that's APY, quick and easy. Let's jump into the 3 vehicles to know. One of them is staking rewards. Second, we're going to look at lending rates. Third, exchange rewards. And there's way more tools than that in DeFi, but for the purpose of this video, when we're talking about the super high APYs, we're going to focus on those 3. And I'm going to put up a video separately that deeply goes into those 3. And if you want to look at those, you can check the description below. Definitely recommend it if you haven't heard of these before or want to learn a little bit more. But in this video, we're going to quickly cover them so you understand them fully. Now, first up, we have staking rewards. When you stake your cryptocurrency, you are compensated for helping secure the blockchain. And what does that actually mean, securing it? That basically means you're locking up your funds for some period of time, and that means that you're committing to the cryptocurrency when you lock up your funds. So you lock up your funds and you get rewarded for doing that. How does that actually help the currency? The reason you get rewarded is because, in theory, by locking your funds, that means there's less price volatility, because you're not buying and selling and buying and selling and buying and selling like a crazy person. You're actually holding the cryptocurrency for some period of time. And the reason you hold it is because you're going to get rewarded for that. At least that's what happens in theory. We're going to go more into that later. But staking is basically set up so that you keep your funds in, and that way the price isn't moving up and down and up and down and up and down. Staking is typically set up so that the more stake total algorithmically, the more that people deposit, the lower that APY rate goes. So let's say the APY rate starts at 50% and people keep putting in more and more and more money. That means it's getting more and more secure. So gets more secure. They don't need as high of an APY to incentivize people to keep their funds because there's less volatility with it. People trust it more. We'll get into that more later. And again, if you want to know more about staking, check out the video in the description below. You're going to like it. Next, let's talk about lending rates. This is the second one we discussed, and it's pretty simple, to be honest. Let's say I give you $100. You give me back $105 later. That's it. You understand lending rates. It's that easy. And we're going to dive a bit deeper. Like, let's say there's a platform, and there's some online, like Compound, that will let you lend your crypto onto their platform. And what they do is they take your crypto and they offer it for other people to borrow at some rate, right? So let's say they're taking your $100 crypto, they're giving it to other people at a 6% rate that they have to pay. And they take a 1% fee of that, so that, an example, you lend Compound, this protocol, $100 in DAI. They're going to owe the person that borrowed it $106 within a year's time. And what happens is Compound will take $1 of that 106, and you get the $5 extra, so you make that $105. And Compound gets rewarded for being the intermediary platform that facilitated that. So that's what happens in lending and how you get rewarded. It's the easiest by far to understand, so hopefully you grasp that. Again, we'll have a video on that really deep dives into lending. If you want to check it out, it'll be in the description. Now, last but not least of the three that we're just going to discuss today is exchange rewards. Now, for this, you have to understand that there are tons of cryptocurrency. I mean, of the time of this video, there are 8,000 different cryptocurrencies. And to create liquidity for all these different cryptocurrencies, decentralized exchanges, or DEXs, if you're with the crypto lingo, these DEXs let you swap currencies, meaning that I can go to a decentralized exchange and I can give 60 Avalanche and get 2 Ethereum. So, or vice versa, I can give you 2 Ethereum and I get 60 Avalanche back, or whatever the exchange rate is the time between the two currencies. The DEX takes a fee for every swap, and that's important. So I want to go this a little bit in a real world example. Now, it's kind of like swapping money if you're going on an international trip. So let's say you go abroad, you go from the US to Europe, and you want to get euros. So you go to an exchange booth, and you give the exchange booth $100 to get 85 euros, because that's the international exchange rate, whatever it is. Let's say it's 185. And the exchange booth is going to give you 85 euros, but they say you need to give us $100 for that transaction, and we take a $5 fee. So you pay $105 US dollars to get 85 euros. Imagine that a DEX is that exchange booth for that international currency, but you own a part of that booth. So you put up 2 cryptocurrencies in a DEX, and presto, you're going to get a cut of every transaction, because it's kind of like you own a part of that DEX. You own a part of that liquidity pool, and every time someone's swapping for different cryptocurrencies, you're going to be pulling out all the fees from that, at least the portion that you put in of the liquidity pool. And so we've got the basics down. We covered the foundation. So now we're ready to dive right in, whale style, into why these APYs are so big. How are they returning 150% to 1,000% to 5 quintillion% APY? In most of the methods that we've covered so far, you're actually going to get sub 10% returns in most cases. For example, you can stake your Ethereum right now into Lido, and you're going to earn 4.8% returns by staking, and we covered that and how that works. A lot of people are going to hold on to their Ethereum for years. So if I'm holding anyways, and you offer me an extra 4.8% APY, it's a no-brainer. Go ahead and compound my returns, please. That sounds amazing. But let's say that you're the new token on the blockchain. New coins have much less trust established in them. And because they don't have that trust, they want people to buy in and stake to give more trust to that cryptocurrency. And what better way to get people in the door than offering a 200% APY or more? This is called incentivization staking. And incentivization staking allows for cryptos to get traction by rewarding early holders. Those 200% APYs, the idea is they can lure you away from a more established, trustworthy coin. Even if you're getting a 4% return on your Ethereum and you like your Ethereum, maybe you'll take a risk on this new coin because it's going to give you a 200% return every year. But what do you actually earn a return on? It's not a return on dollars, it's a return on the quantity of that cryptocurrency. I could have 100 coin that are worth $1 each, so that's $100 worth of value. Then in 1 year, I double those coins to 200 coins with 100% APY. If that price dropped to 50 cents by the end of the year, I still have $100 and no returns, even though I have that 200% APY the entire year. The benefit really comes in if the price goes up, and then you can compound a price increase with a staked increase. This means you have more coin, and the coin is worth more per coin. So it's a pretty good deal if it works out for you. A lot of risk to this. If some whale, hate those whales, come in and within a few months earn 50% gain on your currency held, and the price has gone up 80%, let's say, well, that whale is up 170%. And if you put in $200,000, you're probably going to sell. If it was me, I would have slowly started to sell along the way. If I had a whole lot of capital in this project, may have dumped all of my holdings at this point. I would have been out of that project with those kind of returns, especially with how quickly they can happen. When something like that happens, this can cause seismic ripples that can tank the price, tank it, destroy it. And these kinds of strategies rarely play out where you're earning 200% APY on the same token price. The price is not going to stay the same. The price is going to go up and down like cryptocurrencies do. They're volatile. That's why we're here. That's the reason that we're able to make money on these, and that's why you watch these videos, so you can make sure you're the one that's not losing. Another thing to consider is these huge APY returns, they don't last the whole year. Usually they last a matter of weeks. The goal of these platforms, what they want to do, is lower the APY rewards the more that becomes staked. So the higher volume that's staked, the more people trust the crypto, so they can lower the incentivization structure. So before I go into what I'm about to say, none of what I say in this video is investing advice, and this is solely the opinion of me. And if you're considering investing in one of these, think about how many tokens they're printing. The incentivization piece of incentivization better work, because if they're printing a bunch of cryptocurrencies of the coin that you're holding, you could be inflated to oblivion, so that you're getting more coins at the rate the price is going down. So let's go back to our example earlier. Let's say you have 100 coins. They're all worth $1, and then at the end of the year, you have 500 coins because they had an awesome APY return. You 5x'd the coins that you have, but they're now worth 1 cent instead of $1 each. So instead of $100 worth of value, you now have $5 in value. So those 200% APYs don't actually play out. So the price starts dropping from inflation, and you can run into fear selling because of this. Because people are going to worry the project's going to go to zero, so they sell, or a big whale comes in, they sell, and it tanks. That just happened actually a couple weeks ago. A DAO called Galaxy Goggle went from $60 coin price to $2.50 coin price overnight. It was instant, and that was because a big whale sold $500,000 worth. Boom, went down. Now, what are you left with? You're left with an inflated coin that people are jumping ship on. How do those 200% APY returns sound now? Some of these DAOs are getting a little wild, and they're going to offer 5 quintillion percent APY. But I want to go ahead and break this down a little bit, because it's not always a bad thing. And I know I'm sounding pretty harsh here, but let me get into it a little bit. Let's say you have a 500 quintillion percent APY. That means you're going to get about 109% return or a 200% return every 5 days. So every 5 days you double or triple your money. And that gets broken up into returns every 8 hours, which means about 11% every 8 hours. Remember that these returns, when it comes to APYs, it's compounding returns. So you get your returns at some interval, and because of that interval, it leads to ridiculous compounding returns, get crazy. So that's why it's sounds super valuable, and the 5 quintillion percent APY, you should really look at the 5-day, because it's not going to last all year. And before crypto, if I got an 11% return on my portfolio in a year, I would have been excited, but now I'm getting offered it every 8 hours. Sounds pretty good to me. I'd rather just take that 10% and run. The question is, do these work? It's still too early to tell, in my opinion, especially for these like 5 quintillion percent APYs because they're fairly new. But there's some that are pretty interesting to look at, and that have kind of come out of the rubble, like Olympus DAO, Time, Wonderland are two big ones that a lot of people have gotten a lot of attention for. I'm going to create a video on those. Make sure you subscribe and hit the bell icon because those are very interesting. I have a lot of opinions. I'm making moves in those, so I want to tell you guys about them and tell you guys what I'm doing with those, whether I'm buying or selling, and the opinions of each. If you guys are interested in that, drop a comment. I want to hear what you guys think. I'll reply to comments. Right now, that Olympus DAO, for example, is at 5,000 APY. When it launched, it was at 88,000 APY. Been doing a lot of research into this. Again, I could go more into this, so we'll make another video about it. Make sure to hit the bell icon and subscribe. An important consideration of all of this is to look at the APY versus the APR. The difference is that APY factors compounding where APR does not factor in compounding. That means if you're trying to show off your returns, you're going to show a large, flashy APY number. Whereas if you're a credit card company and you're taking fees from people, you're going to show off the lower APR rate. The same thing happens with lending in crypto. If you borrow money, you're going to see the percent owed displayed in an APR because you're going to have to pay that back. Whereas lenders who are earning on you borrowing, they're going to see a nice flashy APY. Typically, that APY return changes over time. In the crypto world, it happens pretty fast. So if you see a 100% APY, it may only last a few weeks or even a few days. So take that into consideration. As it lowers, sometimes that means people sell. So this is important to know as well. But this video is just to tell you how this stuff happens. Make sure you do your research where the yields are coming from. If you want to invest, you should invest into sound projects with a great trajectory and a bright future, and projects where people have really high opinions, because sometimes that is what drives the price. So there's a lot of factors to go into it. And if one of those projects happens to have a high APY, all the better. It has a good trajectory, people like it, and the APY, go ahead and compound those things. That sounds awesome. A high APY does not mean it's a bad project, but it does give a warning sign that you should do more due diligence, ensure you're not investing into a Ponzi scheme and something that's going to pull the rug. It happens to everyone at some point. So don't go crazy. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. I'm going to be posting more videos on specific projects, as well as videos explaining general concepts just like this one. I know I'm biased, but definitely hit the subscribe button if you want to start learning more about DeFi, crypto, the newest projects, and if you should invest in those projects. I'm going to tell you guys the stuff that I'm doing, that I'm investing, and it's going to be awesome. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I can't wait for you to be a part of this community. Hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to click or tap that bell so you don't miss a video, because some of these are going to be time sensitive. Also, like the video if it helped you at all. It certainly goes a really long way for me. And don't forget to check out the other videos in the description below. Until next time, peace out, guppies.